I'm sorry. Can I?
Sure.
I've read this. I know. I understand.
All right.
I understand. But I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. I mean, with all due respect, I appreciate you reading verses from the Bible, but I'm having more fun talking prophets. But it was different people.
Gotcha.
You know, so everyone has their own style of communication. Everybody has their own way of writing. Everybody had their own relationships to Jesus or to the leaders of countries that they were writing letters to.
Yeah.
And so the messages, I believe that there are prophecies and there are people that were given messages directly from God.
Gotcha.
I don't think everybody was ready for that.
Which ones you believe got it?
I can't really get into like picking and choosing.
No, that's what I'm trying to say,
honestly,
because that's what you're saying.
I am, but
some of them got it and some didn't. I'm trying to figure out which one.
I'm saying
did.
like there is a very human factor to any sort of prophecy. You know, the message, like a message might come to me, and I'm like, I'm going to tell you. And if my heart is not pure, I could twist that message. And people do that. You know, people start cults, you know, and they make it about themselves. You know, I'll take the word of God and I'll turn it into something that I can control. And that's a terrible thing. And I think that's the thing that turned me off to Catholicism, is that I believe that the church, it may have started with good intentions, and it may have started but like very close to Jesus and with his word, but over time, you know, you get popes who are like, they're basically megalomaniacs. They want power. And so they use that hope and that spirituality and the promise of a better life and the words of Jesus, and like they use that for their own ends. And that's a lot of bad shit came out of that.
I agree.
And so the idea that the Bible over time hasn't changed is, I can't get behind that. Like there's too many personalities involved in the translations from Aramaic to Greek to Rome to Latin.
Well, it was in Hebrew first. Aramaic is just a trade between trade.
Oh yeah, I'm
so
well
that's
aware.
not, so it's Hebrew.
I want to learn Aramaic. Like, I'm serious about this stuff.
Well,
this is not
just another form of Hebrew. That's it.
Yes, but I want to be able to read the original documents. And I think that's as close as you can get, is reading the original documents, and even those were written in some cases 30, 40 years after Jesus died. You know? And if I'm thinking, like, I'm almost 50 years old, and I'm thinking back to like my 20s. Like, could I tell you an accurate recollection of things that had happened in my 20s? I don't remember half the shit that happened in my 20s, honestly.
Right.
So I don't trust that people were able to accurately portray the things that had happened when Jesus was alive, necessarily. They may have tried, they may have had good intentions, but...
Now, where do you get your morality?
My morality comes from...
Your parents.
Can I answer?
I know I'm going to answer it for you.
No, you're not going to answer it for me. You asked me a question, I'd like to answer that. I don't believe my morality came from my parents. I mean, they instilled what they could, and they did their best, and you know, I have kids too, and no one's perfect. Now, as an adult, I feel like my morality comes from what I have learned and what I have absorbed from being in this reality, if you want to call it. And it took me a long time. It took me a long time to figure this out, and how to be a good person with good intentions, how to live with integrity, how to live a life close to God, how to live in service to humankind. It took me a long time to get to that.
I'm trying to figure out to a point, because like I said, we have to have something to stand on, right? Like what determines right from wrong, and where can I go to get it at? Because what it comes into is confusion. If I say, like, take this light, it's very simple. That light, when it turns red, everybody agrees that when it's red, it means stop. Right?
Yes, there needs to be a commonality between everybody
When it's green, it means go.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out what moral compass, where do you get your moral
I can tell you
compass?
exactly what it is.
That's what I mean.
And this is the thing that took me so long to get to, and it just happened in January. And it comes down to three things: love, compassion, and kindness. Those are the three things. If you live in perfect love, compassion, and kindness, that was Jesus' message. Forgiveness, love for your fellow humans, living in service to people, doing God's will, which is to be be here to love one another and to take care of one another and to look out for the people who need help the most, to help the homeless, to forgive people. Because no one's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Let me read something to you on that. Give me Matthew chapter 15. Start at 21.
The book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 21.
Watch this.
Then Jesus went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon.
So this Tyre and Sidon, the African Canaanite nation. This him walking through Africa. Watch this.
And behold, a woman of
A
Canaan
woman of another nation
came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with the devil.
So this woman came to Christ. She's like, look, my daughter, she's got a devil on her, right?
But he answered her not a word.
This is Jesus. He ignored this woman. Go ahead.
And his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away.
Now, disciples are people that follow Christ. Even they came and said, Lord, send this woman away, right?
For she cried after us.
He was crying after us too.
But he answered and said,
Now he's going to answer what he said.
I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Uh-huh. Keep going.
Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me.
Now he said, now she came to him and she said, Lord, help me. He told her who I'm sent to. I'm only sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then she came and worshipped him what?
But he answered and said, It is not meet
Meat means right. He said it's not right.
to take the children's bread
Take the Israelites' bread.
and to cast it into
What
dogs.
is a female dog?
The word for that is bitch.
That's right.
Now,
Go ahead.
this is interesting that you bring that up because the word bitch, think about a female dog. What are the qualities of a female dog?
What are the qualities of it?
They are loving, protective, loyal.
Okay.
Seriously.
Hey, man.
I have a female dog. She is my best friend. That
Go to
girl is
Revelation.
like, she got my back.
Right. But listen, my point
So
was,
the word bitch is wrong.
well, let's see what these bitches
Using
do.
it, abusing it, but the meaning of it is something good.
Revelation chapter. Well, let me show you what he's going to do to these bitches. 22 verse, start at 14.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse
This is
14.
what he mean by the bitches and what they going to do.
Blessed are they that do his commandments,
First of all, the blessed are the ones that keep his commandments.
that they may have right to the tree of life,
Uh-huh.
and may enter and through the gates into the city.
That do go for without is what?
For
So wait,
without,
I'm sorry, those are the 10 Commandments.
No, it's almost 600 commandments. Where's straight for the 10 commandments?
Okay, but you said the commandments. I was just
Yeah, yeah.
I was just clarifying.
Yeah.
Okay.
for without are dogs.
Who outside of the gates?
For without are dogs,
Those same bitches that we just got finished talking about. They without the gates. And what else?
and sorcerers,
Uh-huh.
and whoremongers,
Uh-huh.
and murderers,
Uh-huh.
and idolaters, and whosoever love it and make it a lie.
So all of those people are outside the kingdom of heaven. So we got that love doctrine that you're saying. I don't disagree with it. It is come from love, but what is love according to the Bible, or what it's actually saying? What message is he trying to portray of love, and who is that love for? Because he said he only came for the children of Israel.
Yeah. Like
So
I
what
said,
about everybody
nobody's
else?
perfect.
So what about everybody else? That's not part of Israel. What about those other people?
I don't know. Like I said the first time earlier, a prophecy comes to a person and they may not be ready for it. And my belief, what I think, is Jesus was not perfect. And he got to that. He got to
Give me,
that.
I got
I'm sorry. Can I?
Sure.
I mean, I've read this. I know. I understand.
All right.
I understand. But
2 Peter.
I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you.
20. I got you.
So, I think it was a learning process. He had a lot dropped on him. Like, hey, guess what? You got to do this. And he's like, what? No. Like, I don't really want to do this, but God has commanded me to be a prophet and to.
Oh, you don't believe Jesus is God? Man, you came up in Catholicism.
Hold on. If you want to get into that, I will explain to you. I think we are all God. We are all facets of God.
Who is the all that you're saying?
The all
Yeah.
is outside of this.
You mean all human beings or all Israel?
We are all faces. We are all, and this is a theme in Hinduism. Is that like we are all masks of God. We are all personalities of the same divine being that is behind us.
I would
That is
agree with
inside
that
of
to a
us.
certain degree. Now,
I don't think it's like
what's your
a
nationality?
bearded
Give me-
white man sitting on a throne in heaven.
No white man is up there, I promise you.
I know, but what I'm saying is
Yeah.
like people want to ascribe human qualities to God. That's what theology is. Theology is like trying to like you look at Greek myths. You know, Zeus would come down and like
Have sex
with people. Like, no, that's silly.
Gotcha.
That's
I would
silly.
agree. I would agree
And
with
so
that.
like theology is to me ridiculous
I
because
agree.
you're ascribing human qualities to something that is so beyond your
I
comprehension.
would agree.
And I think people do that because they want to have something to relate to. But I think by doing that, it's like junk food for your soul. It's something that it's easy to digest, but it's not the real thing.
Right.
And it's not healthy for you in the long run.
I'm gonna agree with that too. What's your nationality?
My grandparents are from Mexico.
What's your father? Your father from Mexico?
He lived in California, but he's Mexican.
He's
Yeah,
Mexican.
yeah. All my
Now, what
parents
were
are
they
Mexican.
before they were called Mexicans? Who were they then?
They were Aztecs and
Aztecs,
Spaniards.
Incas, and all of that.
Aztecs and Spaniards.
Spanish, Incas, or whatever. Now, what were they
Aztecs.
before that? Because that's not in the Bible. What were they before that?
They were nomadic tribes that got to North America through the land bridge between Russia and Alaska. I mean, what are you asking?
Give me, this is what we're trying to say. But give me, second Esdras. This is what we're showing you. This is why we're out here. Most High promised in the final days, in the last days, that he was going to wake up his people. We was always taught this. This is all I thought. I was African American. But actually, when you actually go into the Bible, you find out that we're a little bit more than that.
Oh, yeah.
It's something that we were taught. We was taught we were black. We were taught we were African. We were taught we was American. All that stuff is foolish. These are all bywords and proverbs. But guess what? When you go down the list, we are all the same people. We're all suffering the same oppression.
Oh yeah.
Now, who put that oppression on us? You notice certain people not on this list. Remember, he said, I'm only come for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Who else is lost but these people? So that's why I was asking you, so-called Mexican, you would be, where you at, Issachar. These particular people, before they came to Mexico, give me that 13 and, that's 40? Yeah, second Esdras 13 and 40. It's going to tell you how you got here. That's
right.
Before y'all were here. Because nobody was here.
Oh, I know.
Read that.
Second Esdras chapter 13, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osea, the king.
Because the kingdoms had split. When you go into the book, you're going to realize Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, this was the southern kingdom. Ephraim, Manasseh, all of y'all were the northern kingdom. That's why all of y'all are lighter than we are. We're a little darker, like the shit, so-called southern.
Well, and it all spread out from North Africa.
Yes, sir.
From
Not just north. We was all scattered amongst the four corners of the earth.
like Ethiopia was the beginning of humanity, right?
Well, give me Galatians chapter 4, verse 26. I'm going to show you that. Hold on, read that.
I like that you know your stuff.
Well, you got to study to show you. Hold on, read that first.
The book of Galatians chapter 4, verse 26. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all.
That's our motherland.
What's that?
Jerusalem.
Okay.
Jerusalem.
Israel.
Right. The cradle of civilization is the Euphrates Valley, Iran to Israel. That whole
Yes, yes, sir. That dark crescent, that
the fertile crescent.
the fertile crescent, but actually it goes. The Bible explains it a lot bigger than what they show us right now.
Well, yeah,
That
because
it actually goes into Iraq.
There's
So I agree with you.
there's been enough of a change in the climate that the parts of North Africa that were part of that are
You
now
think that was- yeah.
desert, but they were green and
Yes,
verdant.
they
and
were.
like it was.
Yes, they were. And I can tell you this: like Egypt and Israel actually was. They didn't have any. They literally just dug. But that was in the 1819, the Suez Canal.
Suez Canal,
right.
Yeah. So it was all connected at one time. You
Oh,
could
yeah.
just walk straight into that one time until they built. Matter of fact, they just blocked. A ship broke down and blocked that whole little thing. Read that. Finish reading this. But it's gonna tell you your whole history is right here.
Second Esdras chapter 13, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners
The 10 tribes of these, the northern kingdom. Go ahead.
out of their own land in the time of Osea, the king, whom Salmanasseh, the king of Assyria, led away captive.
Because Judah, Benjamin, and Levi didn't go into captivity to Assyria. Only the northern kingdom did. They went into, we got conquered by Babylon. Babylon conquered us. Keep going.
And he carried them over the waters. And so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves.
So what all of the 11 tribes, the 9 tribes did, they all came together and they started counsel talking about, well, after he let them go, it's like, okay, well, let's counsel together. They go say it. Read that. Keep going.
That's right.
The counsel, but they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
Heathen just means nations. He's gonna leave the multitude of the nations. It was all on that side, on this side. Go ahead.
And go forth into a further country,
A further country,
where never mankind dwelt,
nobody dwelt in this land.
That's right.
that they might there keep the statutes which they never kept in their own
So
land.
they said they were gonna come here and start keeping God's commandments, right? Go
They
ahead.
entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river.
Now he's telling them the route they took. He said they went into the Euphrates. Go ahead.
For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over.
Right.
For through that country there was a great way to go,
How long they was?
namely of a year and a half.
It took them a year. It took all a year and a half to get here. Go ahead.
And the same region is called
It's called what?
Asherah.
Osirus. That's what this place is called biblically. Osirus.
That's right.
So this is how you got here. So before you were called Incas or Mexicans or something, Israel, you'll be from the tribe of Issachar. That gives you actually you can go back and read. He's got precepts all through
It's
that.
fascinating history.
But it shows you, and actually they got a book called by, I don't have it, it's called by John Adair. When he came over here, he knew y'all were keeping customs that was in the Bible.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You read the book of John Adair? What it's
No, I
called? I normally keep them books around, but I don't have it with me. But
okay.
I'll bring it next time you come and walk. And it shows you how he came and lived amongst the Native Americans and how they kept. A woman was on a period. They had a separate teepee set up on for them. Kept here in this land. So just showing you that before you were that, you were this. But the key is to come back and keep God's commandments. That's the key. Give me Ecclesiastes 12. This is what we teach. Because right now, everything's out of order. Everything's out of order. Murder, killing, hating everybody. This is the key.
Ecclesiastes 12, 13. Chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
This is the conclusion of the entire Bible, right?
Fear God and keep his commandments.
That's right.
For this is the whole duty of man.
This is the whole duty. This is what we're put here to do. Fear God and keep his commandments.
And this is part of where I disagree with that. God is love. Why would you fear? Why would you fear love?
Why would you fear?
Why would you fear love?
Well, okay, fear means reverence. I mean, I can pull up the word. You go into reverence.
I don't like that
Now
word.
you say love, right? Now remember, you flooded the entire earth. Now even your science is gonna agree with that.
Oh sure, yeah. But
Was
you
that
know,
love or hate?
It's not. It just is. If it rains, is that love or hate?
Well,
It's
what
just
I'm saying,
rain.
But is he in control of it all?
I don't think so. I think it's more like
Give me,
I think it's more like this is all
Isaiah
set up
40.
for you, and we're just gonna let it go.
Who do you think? Who do you think killed him?
Other people?
Isaiah chapter 40. What that's 45.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 45,
What is that, 7?
verse 7. I formed the light and created darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things.
Created all this stuff.
Sure, created doesn't mean like I could create a.
Give me
Hold on.
Deuteronomy. No, I got you.
I could create something and just let it go. I could create a game and put you all get start playing the game, but I'm not in control of it. I made it. You're playing it. You're in it, but I'm not running the thing.
Oh, absolutely.
I only got a few more minutes. I gotta run because I got a bunch of stuff to do. But
No,
We're going to show you what love is.
Yeah, watch
It's the
this.
book, 1 John, chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous. That's what love is. Keep his commandments, brother.
Right. Give me what is Deuteronomy 32:39.
Just the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, Verse 39. See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
I think Deuteronomy, as being part of the Old Testament, has even more compounded issues with translations over time. That's what I think.
All right. So
And so, the Old Testament.
Revelation. What
You
about
eat
the New
seafood?
Testament? What about the?
You eat seafood?
No, we gave that up.
Okay.
I used to love it, trust me.
Okay.
But I repented. Give me Revelation, because this is going to show you. Give me Revelation chapter 19.
I mean, with all due respect, I appreciate you reading verses from the Bible, but I'm having more fun talking to you and discussing than just I don't want to be preached to.
What? That's what I'm saying. Well, first of all, can you accept that you're an Israelite? That you're not.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is? These are God's children. You only came for the Israelites. I went to the New Testament to put it down, right?
But then you're assuming that I'm ascribing to the Bible as the ultimate word,
Right.
and
I'm still waiting to find out where you get your morality from. Other than these, you say these 12 steps. So what are the 12 come from?
the 12 steps.
Where did they come from?
You're gonna think I'm crazy.
No.
This is not my first time on this planet.
Okay.
I will tell you that. And
That's
I was
biblical, actually.
and part of the 12 steps is to suppress your ego. Self-will run riot is what an addiction is. It's your ego asserting itself. It's saying, I'm going to do this and at the expense of my health,
Regardless of
my relationships, like everything else. And it's very selfish.
Gotcha.
It's terrible. If you can take your ego and suppress that and tune into your connection with God, your personal connection with God, and listen, and actively listen, not just like every once in a while. I'm still working on that. Like it's hard. Like I forget sometimes, but I meditate. I stop in the morning and I'll meditate, and I will say out loud. I do the third step prayer. God, do with me as thou wilt. The message is like, God, tell me what to do today.
You know that sounds like Alistair Crowley when he said, "Do as thou wilt."
No,
Yeah.
but it's God, tell me what to do today. Like guide me. Like make it obvious. Like tell me like
What God? What God? Which one?
my God.
Which one is your God?
I don't know its name.
To the unknown God. Pull out one. I think that's in.
It is the God that like when I am in tune with God, everything it's like there are no obstacles. I am in tune with people.
Right.
I run into people like you, or I get to communicate and learn from. Like